Aubrey, it looks like you have a new mic.
Isn't it beautiful? Yes, we got new mics. And you too, Jessica. You also have a new mic. If you're watching on YouTube, you guys can see our fancy new mics.
It's so cool, you guys. Definitely check this episode out on YouTube, IELTS Energy TV. Um, it's like so professional now. We got these
Yes.
brand spanking new mics that are attached to these booms. And I feel like one of those, podcasters on YouTube with like 1 million followers.
Yes, I want to feel like one of those podcasters on YouTube. I know they always have the boom mic and it's like kind of in their face in the shot.
Yeah.
We're just owning it, right? We kind of got it in our face. It's hopefully the sound sounds a lot better to you guys. Let us know.
Let us
Contact us on
know.
social media. Does it sound better?
Totally. Leave a comment on the YouTube video if you are watching this on
Yes.
YouTube. And let us know how it sounds, if you can tell the difference. And I think you can, and I hope you can. So, in honor of our new amazing podcasting equipment, guys, we are going to talk about 3 idioms that all have the word new in them. So you can use these on IELTS. Are these just for speaking, these idioms?
Oh, let me look at them. No, we have one here that is formal for sure. Maybe 2 that you could use on writing. So we'll be sure to let you guys know which ones you can use on speaking and which ones are formal enough for writing.
Exactly. Because we know that it's tough to find idioms for writing. You don't know if it's formal enough or, is it slang? Is it something people don't say anymore? All of these things could affect how the examiner would score. Well, there's a really loud car going
It
by.
was loud. I thought it might not pick up in your fancy new mic, but it must have
I
been
know, I
really loud
wonder.
because I could hear that.
So guys, yeah, we have some idioms that you can definitely use on writing today as well. And we'll give you some examples of how you can use these on IELTS. Okay, first I want to
But
remind you guys.
Speaking of new, I'm going to cut you off because I was going
We
to
both
say
had the same
with
idea.
the word new, right? Don't forget, guys, we have a brand new ebook. It's free and it's amazing. So make sure to get it. Go to allearsenglish.com/new IELTS. Jessica wrote it. She contacted her friends who are currently examiners to get all of the updates, all of the inside info about what has changed with the IELTS exam. There have been some changes and you need to know about them so that you're ready on test day.
Yes, exactly. So go to allearsenglish.com/new IELTS and get that free ebook, guys. Okay, let's get into the vocab. So again, we have 3 idioms for you today. And I want to let you guys know that we have an amazing vocab episode tomorrow as well. This week is crazy awesome for vocab for IELTS students. So the first, it's one that I used in our conversation when I was highlighting our amazing new equipment. I said, this is a brand spanking new mic. Aubrey, can you sort that out for us?
Yes.
That's a long idiom.
I love this idiom so much. I use it a lot to say something's brand spanking new. It's a way to emphasize how new something is. You would never use this for something you've had like a year. This means like really brand new. And the word spanking is funny. I mostly use it if I give my kids a little love tap on the bum, they like give you a little spanking, or like birthday spankings. It's like a little pat on the bum, right?
Yeah,
But we have it in this idiom too. I don't know why. I don't know what that has to do with things being new.
Maybe, okay, I have an idea. I don't know
Okay.
if this is correct, but I have a theory on why spanking is included in this idiom. So here's my theory. In like old cartoons and old movies and stuff, when babies are born, the doctor like holds the
Yes.
baby by the feet and like gives it a
Right.
little spanking, maybe to like get it to cry and test its lungs. I don't know. And I don't even know if this is a thing people did, but maybe that's where this idiom comes from.
Because you're right. That makes sense, right?
They would spank new babies. Okay, this is going away from
Interesting.
the
This will
point.
help you guys remember, though, right? Brand spanking new baby.
It's true. I've just created an image for you guys, and you'll
love
never
it.
forget this idiom. So again, guys, it is informal though. Don't use it on writing unless it's like an informal general training task 1 letter. Then yes, use all the informal slang and idioms in that letter.
Okay, I have a question for you about that. So,
Yeah.
if our listeners are going to use it in their letter, would you recommend they write it brand spanking new
Good
or
point.
spanking with like an, because I always say spanking. I never say it with the G, and that's how I hear it too.
Totally. We often, in spoken English, when we're being informal, the G is elided. It disappears at the end of ing words, right? Instead of going, we say goin', right? So that happens a lot in spoken English, guys. We drop the G in this idiom as well. But when you're writing, you can't do that. It has to be spelled correctly. The grammar has to be correct. So when you're writing, you have to include that G. Brand spanking new.
I think that's such a good point because when you're writing the informal general one task one letter, you're thinking all informal vocabulary, throwing in slang, and you might start thinking, oh, I can also write this very informally, leaving off letters. So keep that in mind. Even for informal letters, you still have to write all of the words. You have to use proper grammar still.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, because we give students that advice a lot for general training, informal letters. Write like you speak. Like that's the best way to hit the appropriate tone to be informal. But yes, your grammar cannot be informal. Okay, let's get to the next idiom. Aubrey, what's the next one?
So this is for something to give you a new lease on life. This is really funny. If you think about a lease for like a car or a home, it's like you're renting it. You're signing a new lease. You have something new. So if you think of that for life, right? You've got your life and then suddenly you're going to have a new lease. It's like you're starting something fresh. You're starting something anew.
Yeah, it's like you suddenly have complete motivation to do something or to be something, right? And it's this idea of like this is a new chapter in my life. There's another
Right.
idiom, right? You're starting a new phase of life. And it isn't just like, oh, I started running again and now I have a new habit where I'm running. Like that's not it. It's really like maybe you started running again, but that infected your whole way of being in the world. And now you have this like power and energy in almost all of the things you do that you didn't have before. So any like enormous life change that really just gave you this new fresh start in the world, it's a new lease on life. What sort of IELTS questions could our students use this to answer?
Oh man, so many. It's going to be so useful. Questions about your job or your work or your hobbies. Anytime you start something new, but be careful with the intonation. You don't want to say in a monotone. It gave me a new lease on life. Absolutely not. You're going to be excited about this, right? Say, I started a new job and everything changed. I'm excited to go to work. It gave me a new lease on life.
Totally. Yeah. And I'm also thinking, let me see. I'm curious if you think this would work. What if in part 2 you're asked to describe your best friend, right? Because that happens. You have to describe people that are important to
Sure.
you sometimes in speaking part 2. So, what if I say, here's an example that is actually true for me. I could say, about 5 years ago, my best friend from high school, Megan, moved to Portland. And to be honest, it kind of gave me a new lease on life having my such a good friend close by that I could depend on, that could support me. It just really helped me move forward in my life in ways that I couldn't have before.
Oh, yes, it's so
Yeah,
good. Or anything new that they introduce you. I could say, my
totally.
neighbor loves going to brunch. I had never gone to brunch before meeting her, and now we go all the time, and it has given me a new lease on life. Sunday, I look forward to Sunday mornings all week.
Okay, I love that example because that's a great example of taking liberties, maybe being a bit flexible with this idiom and using it as an extreme, right? To really highlight
Exaggerate.
how great something is. And it's not like going to brunch on Sundays changed your whole life, right? But still, like, this is a new exciting thing that you're happy about all week. Like, you can look forward to it all week. So, if you want to
Totally.
really express something new that you're really excited about, then you could totally use this and exaggerate.
Right, we exaggerate all the time. This is a great way to exaggerate, but again, be careful with the intonation because if you are exaggerating, it needs to come across in your pronunciation, in your
Definitely.
intonation. If you say that with a monotone, it's going to be really weird.
And not just the intonation, the pace. Slow down
Yes.
when you are saying this, right? So remember, guys, when you are emphasizing things like fantastic idioms, slow down. So don't do this. Don't be like, it gave me a new lease on life because I love my best friend. Like the examiner will just miss what you just said, like milk this idiom for every score. Great vocab, great pronunciation, right? Gave me a new lease on life. Like that's quite a slow way to say that, but that's natural.
That's how we would say it, right? And then you're filling 10 seconds instead
Woo!
of half a second.
I know, right? It's strategic. All
It's
right.
strategic.
I think these mics have given us a new lease on life. We're like
Yes, they
having
have.
so much fun talking today.
I do feel like I can laugh without feeling like I have to back up. So again, leave a comment if you're like, nope, you still need to back up when you laugh. That would be
I
good to know.
I'm still throwing my head back when I
You're in
laugh
the
because
habit.
I have to stop that because these mics are amazing. I don't have to do that anymore. All right.
Nice.
Here's the next phrase, guys. Oh, by the way, to give someone a new lease on life, that is great for problem solution essays, writing task 2. Right? To talk about completely solving something for a portion of society or something, right?
Yes.
Like welfare programs, healthcare would give the elderly a new lease on life, would give
Yes.
the economically, the economically disadvantaged a new lease on life. All great phrases. Okay, so this next phrase is super formal. So great for writing, but you could also use it in speaking. Not very common, but I think it's beautiful. A new dawn. This is like a huge meaning. This makes me think of apocalypse books.
Yes.
Like how the world restarts after an apocalypse.
Yes, but we also hear it like if a new politician is elected and it's going to be quite a different
Right?
regime, you would definitely say like, okay, it's a new dawn. It just means things are changing. It's going to be different.
Yeah, like hugely different, right?
Yes,
Like a
yes.
stark
Oh yeah, can't be
contrast.
small different. Good point. Yes.
You're like, I'm gonna dye my hair. It's gonna be a new dawn. Like that won't work, you guys.
Right. I wouldn't say I'm going to brunch now. It's a new dawn. No, no. It needs to be bigger than my little life.
So if you're asked questions about the environment, about solutions for huge problems that are connected to society or the environment, like I said, politics, right? These are all massive changes, right? That you can use this to describe. So, for example, I remember a weird question in IELTS Part 3. There's some odd questions about
Yes, there are.
do you think we should, let me see, should air travel be more strictly prohibited to protect the environment? And nobody's thought about that. But I remember this question being on IELTS. So you could say, well, I don't believe that anybody will stop wanting to travel. That's impossible. So instead, the companies have to meet our need for travel with innovations to protect the environment. In fact, I believe once we establish proper solar energy panels on a large scale, it will be a new dawn for all forms of travel.
Yes, that's a perfect way to use it if you're talking about a hypothetical, something in the future that would change. Like if you're asked about technology or education, there's so many topics where if you say, if we would change this one thing, it could be a new dawn for society.
Yeah, I think this is roughly synonymous with revolutionize as a
Yes.
verb, right? So I hope that lets you guys know how big a change this is describing. So guys, definitely leave us a comment on this YouTube video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are merely listening to us in your ears, go watch us on YouTube. Let us know how you like the new sound, guys. And then go to allearsenglish.com/new IELTS and get our free 55-page ebook.
Awesome. So fun. I feel like this brand spanking new mic has inspired us, and I'm very excited. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for using that. Okay, see you tomorrow, Aubrey. Bye.
See ya. Bye.